My Fab Four not starting this third quarter.
Oh, magnificent.
Set to go third quarter, 11 points underway, and the first clearance will come to the Dockers. And the first mark to Pavlich. So a quiet first half, just the one goal. Roosed it from 60 metres, fresh from half-time. Gets it and kicks it. That's the perfect start for the captain.
Oh, hold on.
Hang on.
We might go to the third umpire here because I think that field umpire saw that it was touch.
Well, Maguire, his body language, is he?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
If he's got a fist on it.
Oh, no, he got a fist on that. That isn't a score.
Well, it's a score. It's not a goal.
Yeah, it's not a goal. So
yeah, good call.
If you're just new to the game or you want to learn the rules completely, the ball has to pass. If there's an invisible beam between the two goalposts, it has to pass completely to the outside.
See where the goal umpire is, though?
Yeah.
You're obscured. He's blocked from the body. So he's saying that he didn't know whether he touched it with his hand, but this is exactly what it's about. And I think we're going to get the right decision here that was touched.
If it is...
He's touched that.
Yeah, you've got to go for the lower decision. That's the way the ruling is written. So this will be a behind.
Well, under Jordan Bannister again. He's being involved in this game.
The vision is inconclusive. Yep. The vision is inconclusive.
So it goes to the lower.
All clear goal.
Oh,
No. Big touch.
Hang on.
This isn't
They're
over
going to
yet.
reverse it.
This isn't finished yet.
No, they're going to reverse it because the umpire has said it was touched by the hand. Now they need clarity.
That's the point.
Thank you.
The ball was touched.
You know what? There's a lot of messing around here, but the correct decision has been found out and succeeded.
But first of all, he said the decision was inconclusive, the vision, but then he said no, it's been overruled from the top. So maybe the communication down wasn't taken the right way, but great decision. I'm happy with that.
The correct decision has been arrived at, albeit after a little while. Would have been a great start for the Dockers, and they just got it out of the middle into Pavlich for the goal. Bang, boom, bing. And all of a sudden they got some enthusiasm. It just dropped off there, didn't it?
Bang, boom, bing.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's a couple of boundary throw-ins.
You've been to Bali too much, listening to their music, haven't you?
So from the throw-in, Sandilands easily winning that. But Shark by Polkinghorne, high ball in.
Jonathan Brown went in again there.
He ducked into that once he felt contact. Good umpiring.
On hands and knees, Subban runs into Merritt. Banfield a good tackle.
There's two Brisbane players attacking side of the pack there. They couldn't quite work it out to them.
Two-goal game. Ball up on the wing.
Brisbane got an extra man at the ball. Freo have got their extra in defence.
Holding against Leicester. There's a hard man to shift main. Advantage paid. Barlow quickly inside 50. Pavlich turns around. Patfull gets a hand on it. Pavlich goes down. Patfull can clear by hand. No one to kick to here for the Lions. They've got to risk it through the middle. Rich. Too slow, too indecisive. Mellington decides to back himself. He makes an error. Polak caught. Everybody indecisive. Everybody trying to find a target. Bad bounce for Rains. Hill backs out of trouble. Someone soon will be clean and do something spectacular. Who will it be first? As Billy Longer, the first gamer, finds the boundary.
That's not spectacular, but he's done it first, whatever it was.
One thing he did do was get clean hands.
Just have a look at this, dude. Now, there's Jonathan Brown. Now, gee, there's a lot of similarities there, how he did hurt. He was pushed in the contest a little bit, but, gee, his head did go down in that area. Well, you'd get nervous when that happens.
He should have got a free kick for that. He got a motioning shove into the back of the player in front of him from McFarlane. Very big pack, very deep for the umpire to see through it to that infringement, though.
Sandilands again with the knock. Here's Broughton first to it. Polkinghorne shadowing him. Polkinghorne picked it up, but just gave it straight back to Johnson. He goes further back to Dawson on the left boot. Centering kick is a good one. Beats everybody, though. Maguire in trouble. Zach Clark. Zach Clark, the unlikely hero, kicks the goal.
I don't know if Zach Clark's going to kick too many roving type goals in his career, but that one's worked for him. But you know what he did? He just followed the ball in, ran in with the flight of the ball, albeit from a different angle. He's second on the scene. Poor bounce to the bloke who gets there before him. Wouldn't base your career on that type of play, being second into the forward line on a bouncing ball, but he's taken the opportunity.
I think sooner or later, when you keep pumping it in as much as Fremantle, when you don't mark it pure by hand or get a pure crumb from a small, something happens. You get a bit of luck because at the moment, the ball hasn't been forward of centre for Brisbane nearly in this quarter. So not good signs here early for Brisbane.
Yeah, they kicked the last three, Fremantle. And from the middle, it's very hard to get clear, Pollock.
I tell you what, Matty Maguire's giving it to Zach Clark down there. Little forearm jolts to the spine as he saddles up behind him.
Big punch forward. Chance for De Boer, runs through it. Quick hands, Main. Now they go again. Kick from Broughton. Maguire the big jump. Here's Zach Clark to rove another one. Beaten to it this time by Patfull. He's got no one to kick to. Oh, well, they're giving him a chance.
An important 5 minutes here for Brisbane. They just got to hold their nerve because Fremantle are about to blow the game if they can just put that scoreboard pressure. Do what Brisbane were doing good in the second half. Just be stubborn. But that second kick you spoke about, Dermot, out of this back 50.
Oh, there's a one,
There it is.
Yeah, well spotted, Jacko.
Redden off a step, pulls it across, out of bounds on the full. A chance for De Boer, who drops into the hole. Duffield spots him. De Boer to go back for the shot.
Well, if you have a look at the stat sheet so far in this quarter, coming up to the 7-minute mark, 19 disposals to Fremantle, only the 9 to Brisbane. Got 1 goal, 1 on the board, but 6 inside 50s to none for Brisbane. So every third disposal is the one they pump inside 50 with.
So De Boer, 40 metres out, hits it well, it's curling. It curled too far. Lions struggling to get free here.
Good pick up.
Looked like a half volley, but
Jack Redden.
paid. The fan's not happy.
I think he might take a bit more time with this kick, Jack.
They'll probably get moving through the target a little bit as well, rather than one step.
Yeah. The other thing about Jack Redden, when he did kick that ball out of bounds, he didn't go to De Boer. He was more, showing the demonstration that I'd made a mistake. Didn't pick up his man. And it's just those little things in games like this which count.
Big punch from Sandilands, falls for Johnson. He hits and hopes and wasn't there. Redden run into trouble. O'Brien caught. 3 players on him. We'll have a ball up right in front of the interchange area. 19 points, the biggest margin of the game.
Jacko, they are right in front of you. Is there a bit of feeling happening out there?
Oh, certainly is. I mean, they're just hanging on here, Brisbane. They're just going to be smart in their decision-making going forward, but Fremantle going for the kill.
The perfect smother from Barlow. Grabbed it, and Adcock goes back and takes the mark. Again, no options from Brisbane. It's a 10-metre kick, not 15. And Harwood goes back with his kick. Under the pump here, Brisbane. Rains with the switch. It's the big switch to Patfull. Now he decides Hanley can take the next one. Mellington, almost a spectacular mark. He wants it. Hanley had nothing to do with it. Spins out of trouble. And Subin now. Oh, well recovered to Johnson. Back to McFarlane. Dockers on top here. Playing the game on their terms now. The kick is a little bit untidy. Forces Duffield back. McPhee on the stretch and on the burst. Into the corridor he goes. Dawson takes the shorter option. And it's a real mess up there. Chance of Brisbane. Adcock has to hook it a long way back. Good vision to Merritt, who hasn't been good in front of goal, we can tell you, if you've just joined us. He has had 2 shots for goal.
Well, you've got to take this on as a senior player. You should kick a goal from here, Matty, but he has had a technique problem. But, gee, well done to Adcock. He could have blown that ball just straight forward under a bit of pressure after the turnover, but he had a look inside the corridor.
They had 4 set shots in the second quarter, and he managed to behind Brisbane.
Well, they need this. This is a massive kick.
That could come back.
Oh,
it wasn't pretty off the boot, but it's in the book.
I got taught how to swing the ball by, I reckon, the greatest technician of kicking a footy. I still think Peter McKenna was the greatest kick I've seen. There was a technician by the name of Mick Moncrief who could swing it both ways. Now, if you drop, as a right foot, if you drop it to the outside of your right foot and you angle the ball in a certain way, it will go like an outswinger. And I don't reckon by design, by accident or lack of skill, that's how Big Sauce dropped it then.
Ross Lyon not happy. It's a goal against the run of play.
I think there was a bit of Zach in there.
There was definitely Zach in there. Sorry.
Had control, and then just the error from Dawson.
In the middle of the ground.
The clearances here for Brisbane. Oh,
Good tackle.
Oh, good follow-up.
Yeah, but went without it. We're talking about Harwood. Brisbane hunting
he
it.
ducked his head.
Yeah, play on the call. Getting it out of troubles. We've seen a few times this afternoon. Ibbotson working well in close traffic.
Oh, Billy.
Long way down for Billy. Main with the tunnel ball. Going back Leicester. And he found some distance, and it stays in play, but it's all Fremantle here. Pearce. Messy handball from him. Duffield back to Broughton.
What's he thinking?
He went straight back into Banfield. Eventually the kick comes out. Drummond, who was so good in the first quarter.
Normally when you sidestep someone, you've got to sidestep them.
Instead of just staying still.
Yeah, deciding not to kick it and thinking that's me sidestep.
What's happening here? Drummond's cramping up. This is an issue. They've already got one on the band. He's cramping up in the hamstring, I think, which is the worst spot.
He's had soft tissue problems.
Oh, here he is. Look at that.
Chase it. Is it hamstring or is it calf? No, he's right now. Yeah, that's cramp.
He might have to have a spell.
Spell and a good rub, I reckon, for a furious 3 minutes of massage.
He's involved in the play here. He didn't really want it. Mundy round the corner. Chance for the Dockers. Spoil came from Maguire. Over the top it went, and out of bounds it went.
He's trying to get to the bench, Josh Drummond.
Longer, won that one. Was trying to flick it out the back. Off a step, Barlow.
Look where he's kicked from. The boundary line throw went to there. It was a centering throw-in.
It's disciplined throwing.
You could not throw it into a hotter spot.
Quick
That's
kick
a great
in.
kick.
Testing Redden, and he's in real trouble now. The Dockers swarm. De Boer spins out of trouble. 40 metres out. Matt De Boer, wrong side of the post. They're peppering the Dockers. 5-11 now.
Yeah, you've got to give that one the dirty Harry Clint Eastwood rule. The man's got to know his limitations.
This time
Good rule, that.
Yeah. To Leicester.
Have a look at this, boys. Inside 50s. We're in the third quarter. Brisbane Lions, 12 inside 50s. They're averaging 4 a quarter, a world record low. You know what? They're only 15 points down. That tells you just how disjointed the Fremantle forward line is, or the lack of polish with which they bring it in.
Oh,
you've got to kick it.
Got to be good, and it wasn't.
It's straight over the top of Rich to Broughton, and he spots a man standing on his own. Mellington.
It's not deep though, Matty. It's not a deep one. So Mellington, I haven't seen him kick.
It's a good kick for goal, Dermot.
Okay. Well, they need to put something on the board here.
Well, Pierce Hanley last week, boys, was the turnover king. I was up there for that game. Just mistakes like that 20, and the play on without having an idea of what you're going to do with the ball puts yourself under pressure. Just take your time and then kick down the line if you have to.
That is the Gaelic way.
Of just playing on, just go.
There's no mark in their game. They don't pay a mark.
Yeah.
So they receive it in the air and they go.
It's kicked 3 straight this year, but that's touched off the boot, so the crowd will think it's a goal, and they'll be disappointed.
They're all clap. You're right, Matty. They haven't. What's going on here?
Yeah, no, they're applauding a great point.
So they've had a couple of things down that in this quarter.
There's been a little bit in this game, hasn't it? Just from different angles.
When you think about it, the way that Brisbane are playing, all right, now they're holding it up, they're choking it up, short possession. Look at the numbers in this corner, this quarter of the ground. Nearly every player's in this corner of the ground. If you said Brisbane, who got poleaxed last week, can be 15 points down halfway through the third quarter, then we'll roll the dice for the last 30 minutes. You'd probably say, yeah, let's give that a go. Let's not get blown off the face of the map for the first 3 quarters. So they're in the game still.
Gee, Jonathan Brown, he's just struggling to cover the ground. You can do all the training you want, and even champions struggle. McFarlane's just getting off in here.
There's a poor kick going in. There's another turnover going back. So it's turnover central at Patersons as Adcock tries to find Banfield and let it go.
Son.
He just let it go. O'Brien on top of Clark. Ball still yet to come out.
And talk about dysfunctional. Yeah, it's both forward lines.
Yeah, but if you're going to make an error that it's a positive error. Both of you go and you crash into each other. When I say roll the dice, for those people who understand, it's when you get the ball and you play on relentlessly. You try and catch the opposition out. So right now, you just peel off. See, the blokes are under the outside. You're playing creative football. At the moment, to stay in the game for the first 3 quarters, they decided, let's choke this game up, slow it down.
Well, you are totally right, Dermot. They can get, if they keep this to 16 points, they can say, you know, with a bit of confidence, boys, we've come over here against a supposed to be top 8 side.
Yeah.
We've got the 16. We're going to let it go now. We want you to play the corridor, take it on, and quick ball movement and believe. Yep, I agree with you. Whether they're good enough to do it is another thing.
They're carrying it a long way at that end.
Polak kicked a beautiful goal when he came on as the sub, and now he's got 2. Give the ball to Polak.
How good a kick was that? He has kicked that from, I reckon, 60, Matty. I nearly reckon call it 60. And it's gone 15 metres near the boundary line.
I think, from memory, well, I'll double-check it, I think he went number 4 in the draft. But you saw Clancy Pearce kick from the 50-metre line and put it through 3/4 post height at that end. Jacko, there's got to be an advantage at that end.
Yeah, there is. They call that the vortex pocket. If you get it up, the wind will carry it through. So, good area to kick goals.
Jared Polak came number 5 in the 2010 draft. Woodville West Tigers. Everybody knew he was a beautiful kick of the foot.
He's kicked 2 good goals today.
New terminology from Jacko, the Fab 4 and the vortex pocket. I like
the vortex. Here's a clearance from Redden. Against the run of play, the Lions have got it back to a 10-point game, and they've got a possession inside 50. Banfield from 40 metres out.
Oh, that would have put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Wouldn't it?
Going back to that, Dermot, rolling the dice, it's a important thing for Brisbane, because if they can get Jonathan Brown into the game in that last quarter, they can certainly go for a win here.
If they start to get a little bit of 50-50 footy out of the centre bounce and you pump it forward quickly and Brown's got one out, he's a show.
Because you know he'll play in front.
Open forward line for Crowley to run into. Now it's Rich going back. Crowley over the top. Rich stood firm. Wanted the mark, didn't get it. Had a lot of time to get rid of it, but didn't panic. Oh, interesting handball from Rains. Puts Stephen Hill back into it. Dockers to reload. Too slow, McPhee. Pushing the back, he wins a free kick.
He got the staggers there, McPhee.
It'll come back for him.
He's one of these blokes who's a beautiful kick, great action, but doesn't always hit the target.
Big switch. And away goes McFarlane. Banfield's going to take him on, but McFarlane strides away, tumbles it forward. It's going to drop short. Crumman needed for the Dockers. Dawson is there.
Big Zach's up forward.
Drummond went one way with the other, somehow got it to Hanley, and he's going to thread it towards Merritt, and they've managed to hold it out. Told to move. Been up forward, and he's kicking it straight to Sandlands. He didn't want to go in that direction. Give the big man the benefit of the doubt. There may be the sun caught him. Yeah. Again, McPhee back to McFarlane. We see that a lot.
Well, he doesn't have to duck his head in the contest, does he, Aaron? No one can reach it anyway.
Pearce, in the middle of the ground. Misses the target, but Sandilands is there. Duffield handing over to Barlow. Can he someone, or De Boer's free, but the target, he just missed him. The kick to Ibbotson. He straightens up and he misses.
They haven't put them away.
No, the fans would just be going, when are you going to put them away?
11-5 inside 50s in this quarter to Fremantle, yet they've kicked 1 goal 6 to Brisbane Lions, 2 goal 1. They've won the quarter by a point so far, Brisbane, and they've had less than half the inside 50s.
Yeah. So Redden's kick, cross. Again, it's just a patient Brisbane back half. Drummond tried to just pull the kick, and he did, but McPhee read it best. Now a chance for Broughton. He can play on and go.
Doesn't know.
He didn't know he was coming. Managed to get the handball away. Sandlin's a long way down. Stephen Hill. Haven't seen him break free very often. Tackle from Polek. Broughton underneath all of that. Ball up.
Just got to hang in there, Brisbane. There'd be a chance in this game.
Yep.
The margin's just at that workable margin, I think. A goal might deflate them. They've done a fairly good job in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Easy one for Sandlin's to push down to Pearce.
Pearce is getting his hands on the footy a little bit, and so's Stephen Hill in the last few minutes.
Johnson's kick in. The spoil from Drummond. Bradley slid in under.
Over his neck.
Dawson. He managed to get boot to ball. It's still in. Mellington searching and waiting. Now it's out.
You're absolutely right. I reckon that's good umpiring, though. At his own speed, he dropped to the ground and he got the contact over the neck. Yep. So you got to wear that.
Oh, out of the ruck.
Out of bounds on the
I think
full.
it's time. We've seen Luke McFarlane go forward. He's on top of Jonathan Brown. Looks like he's got a bit of dash in his game. I'd like to see him go up forward and maybe just throw Brisbane around a little bit.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him go forward.
Jeez,
he's on top of Jonathan Brown. So
bad mistake here. Who was that? Kicking Pearce Hanley. He's got to improve that part. If it was Pearce, he's got to improve that part of his game. But anybody, it doesn't matter. That's not good enough late in the quarter.
Mazungu to set it to the top of the square. Spots that De Boer was on his own. Couldn't quite mark it. Ricocheted handball from Redden. De Boer goes again underneath it all. Leicester. Dawson. Handball's out. Mundy waiting. Still a chance the Dockers. It's a live footy. Bradley can't get past 2 tacklers. Down he goes. Rich paddles it out. Mazungu there as well. Eventually it goes out.
Well, Tony, when you got De Boer and Zach Dawson competing as a tall key down there or tall forward, you got to put either Pavlich down there or get Luke McFarlane. It's not working for him.
All right, I think I'd go with Pav again. I just think control the champion and don't let him get the game on his terms.
Redden with the torpedo kick. No one inside the forward half of the ground for the Lions. Bad bounce for Johnson. Didn't go to ground. And that's a win for Brisbane.
No doubt. It's going to be a testament to, sorry, Matt, it's going to be a testament, I think, of the coaching. Exactly what Dermott said. Can Michael Voss get to him at 3/4 time and say, boys, we're going to go now? It'll be great to see how they set up in the last quarter.
Docker's got plenty of possession here from the clearance, though. Adcock went up without it. Mazungu didn't. And no one bothered to tackle him. He's been good this afternoon. Plenty of possession for him. Spoil at ground level. Rockcliffe. Again, they go close to the line. And it's still in play for Johnson. Well, he got caught high, but he did take a long time.
Interesting to note, too, over the first 2 rounds, Brisbane Lions have been really, really hurt by their turnovers. They're the 3rd most scored against team in the first 2 rounds from their own turnovers. Today they've made the same amount of turnovers, but the score against them has been 1 goal 9. You take that the other way, 9 goal 1, and they're pantsed by their own turnovers.
Main with a big grab. We haven't seen much of that this afternoon. Huge mark from Main, and it sparks the Dockers into action. Inside the forward 50, Mellington's got it, and can he finish with a goal?
Well, we needed some class in this quarter. Now, this youngster here, just take your time, work your way through it. You're going to kick the goal yourself.
He's left-footed, Tony, so he's looking to give it off.
Yeah. Great kick by Pavlich. We've been waiting for someone to grab this game. And the flight of that ball was just beautifully to his advantage.
He was just on the bench a minute ago, Chris Main, so he's run straight into the action, straight up for the big mark. And now Mellington. It's a tough angle. He's going for the check side. Left footer, right behind him. Oh, beautiful kick. We needed some class, and we found some with Mellington.
delivered. Kicks the ball pretty solidly, doesn't he? And he knows what he's doing by foot. This is where, I mean, that's a massive pack. And normally, that's a spoil that goes to ground and another pack ensures and it's a ball up or a boundary line throw in, but it moves on, and he's weighted that into the pocket there. 3 good aspects. Great grab, great delivery on the kick, great execution on the goal.
Good kick by Josh Millington, and gets that breathing space that the Dockers are looking for. The margin back out to 16, and we've got 3.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Important time for both teams. Clearance not yet affected by either team.
With no Sandilands in there at this centre bounce, this is where the Lions have to say, right, we've got to be a chance to get this out, get it forward, and maybe try and get a 70-metre penetration from here into the forward line and give Brown a one-out chance.
Well, Longer won the tap, but there's no room for anyone to move. Harwood was in front of Pavlich. This time Clark. Look at the players around the ball, though. Off the boot from Longer. Subin. Banfield's got some pace, but...
Stay over it. Good boy.
He goes again.
Well done.
And he did really well to get it to Adcock. McGrath has gone forward.
Hands in
and
the
he
back.
gets a push. Brown sprints back.
See McFarlane try and take up his space as he goes back, just to make sure that he has to take a step out of line.
He's done a good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just niggled the way out and made it difficult for him, and he's so quick, Luke McFarlane. Once he gets his first 2 or 3 paces in, he is lightning when he's already in motion.
Plays on, runs around and kicks it to the man on the mark. The anti-climax from McGrath. Still Brisbane with Adcock.
That could work.
O'Brien didn't know he had a chance to mark it. And now the Dockers will get free. Johnson will hold it up.
Every player is in the that quarter of the ground. Look at that.
That is a cardinal sin, though, isn't it? A senior player to kick into the man on the mark, trying to kick a goal from 55 out, whack it to the top of the square and make sure you can, your execution is at least good enough to do that.
Pavlich has gone forward here.
Millington's kick's short, though. So a bit of turnover from there, and it's going to come back pretty quickly. There's a loose man for Brisbane.
That's a fatigue on the kick there.
And that's a little bit untidy. Pressure coming.
Good tackle.
Yep. You can see that coming a mile off. The Dockers are going to get it back. And now Duffield. Stephen Hill floating through the middle. Couldn't quite get it to him. Still going, Hill. Still going, Hill. Heads in that direction. Is it too late for him? Spoil from behind. Can't afford to run over the footy there. And it's...
If a smart umpire.
Millington's in a bit of trouble here, guys.
Yeah, he fatigued. I thought it was fatigue just on that kick, but he obviously pulled up lame just as he got to the last step.
So some tied turnovers in the last 5 minutes.
I think you could use your hands in the ruck.
Hanley over the top to Adcock. No one to kick to. Banfield 1 on 2.
He's got to take his best effort.
De Boer too strong in the air. Again, the kick falling short.
That's a turnover.
Free kick to Patfull.
It's amazing because Fremantle in those situations, apart from that tackle, they look like they're comfortable in the knowledge that they have got another gear to go to, and they're desperate to put one more on the board.
Yep.
Dermot, where they have struggled, that long kick into the tall key forward, Hayden Ballantyne not being there at that crummer at the foot of the ball certainly hurt them, his suspension.
Now the clock's ticking down for the Lions. They switched it pretty well. They could have kept playing on, but they're going to run out of time here. Or maybe they give it up.
See Josh Drummond put the hands up quickly.
Good, wasn't it?
What that's designed to do is make the player Bradley think, oh, it's dropping quicker than I thought, and make him turn around, and then he goes again a couple of steps back.
Siren sounds. Inaccurate Fremantle in that quarter. They had plenty of opportunities, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't convert. It's only 6-13 to 5-3. As Dermot mentioned during that quarter, maybe the Brisbane Lions will feel that they can now take them on only trailing by 16 points. We'll take a break here from Patersons Stadium. Margin, 16 points. Dockers in front.